What up, everybody? It's your boy James, and you're watching my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. Not gonna happen in this video, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me as always is my girl, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello.
Make sure you are subscribed to her channel as well as mine. The reality TV shows that I do not recap on my channel, we recap on her channel. So you don't want to miss it. Tomorrow we will be on her channel for Basketball Wives, both LA and Orlando. So we're excited. The
And
episodes.
love and hip hop.
Oh, and Love and Hip Hop. I need to catch up. I haven't watched it yet. That's why I didn't mention
I
it.
haven't either.
I watched Basketball Wives. I just didn't watch that one.
I haven't watched Basketball Wives either.
And then also Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the first part reunion. It is going to be explosive. It was a killer season. So if you guys are from there, I hope you enjoyed yourself because that was a good season. So the reunion should be nothing short of that. So speaking of reunions, let's go ahead and get into it because Lord Jesus, these Belle Collective people ain't gonna bother me. They're not gonna bother me at all. So y'all, let's get into these fashions for a second because I couldn't even find pictures of everybody individually because it was that much of a catastrophe. I don't even know what to do because I want to rate these looks, but see, the problem is I can't even rate them. So I don't even know what to really do about it. So hold on, let me see if I can find like a cute little screenshot of everybody and then I'll share my
I
screen.
got a picture of Letitia because how could I not?
Yeah, everybody got a picture of Letitia, but I don't know what she thought she was doing, but you know.
I didn't feel like the Belle Collective fashions as a whole, though, were like outside of Letitia, I don't think that they looked bad. I just felt like for a lot of them, it aged them. This is a really good picture. You screenshotted this?
No, I found it on Google.
Oh, okay. I
So I
was like,
found
look
it
at
on
you,
I found it
James.
on Google. This is actually the thumbnail of this because this is the only thing I could find because I either could find one of them or I couldn't find any of them. I couldn't find Marie, I couldn't find Aisha, and I couldn't find Tamra. Letitia, I was able to find. Gucci, I was able to find, and Latrice, I was able to find.
Yeah.
So, but Marie, Aisha, Tamra, I could not find them to save their lives. But going by this, I'm gonna rate this since I don't have individual pictures. I'm gonna rate this from my favorite look to my least favorite look. My favorite look of the night was definitely Latrice. I loved her outfit. I thought her dress was beautiful. Her wig was beautiful. Everything was beautiful, and she was giving straight up Portia. When I looked at her, I saw Portia Williams. See y'all from Real Housewives of Atlanta. For those of y'all who do not know who I'm talking about, she was giving Portia Williams for sure. The next look that I liked was actually Akeisha's look. I thought the color of that dress was very beautiful on her skin. I didn't care for her hair, and I thought her makeup could have been blended a little bit better than that. The next person I liked semi was Sophia Shante, so Gucci. I love the color of her dress. I thought her hair was too heavy. Her dress didn't fit her because you saw the strap of her drawers on one of the pictures she took on her IG. So I thought that she needed to go one more size down. Marie's dress was okay. I just didn't like the silver, like, I don't know if that was foil. I don't know if that was clip-ins. I don't know what Marie's dress was, but she'll be the probably number. I'm gonna give her number 4. Number 5. I'm gonna go ahead and give that to Tambra because Tambra, I don't know if you had on a nightgown. I want to give you grace because you had just had that baby and then filmed this, I think, within like 2 weeks. Tambra's dress was terrible. Her hair
I
was
didn't,
okay,
I
but
didn't get it.
yeah, it was terrible. I didn't know what kind of material that was. And y'all, and last but not least, Letitia. Letitia's dress was way too tight. It did not flatter her upper body. Her hair, I don't know what that was. When you looked at the TV screen and saw the reunion, you literally saw her wig glue and her lace front.
I
And
really think
she was
she
hot.
went for coming to America. I really believe
She
she tried to go for that, and she
no,
should
that
not
wasn't
have.
for you. That wasn't for you. If you was gonna
Yeah,
do that, then you should have chose a different texture of hair if you was gonna do
please.
that. Because the fact that we saw lace front. It wasn't blended, and the fact that we saw all that gel and glue running down your face, that was terrible.
Bro, like
It was horrible.
Letitia, I feel, is the type of woman who would do better to wear natural styles, afros or the
Um,
yaki. Like she needs. I think she would look better in natural styles. I don't feel like any hair or makeup that Letitia has done has worked for her. Now,
make
some would say, "Oh, you're calling her unattractive." I do not think this is an unattractive woman. My husband do, but I don't. And I just had to sneak that in there. James knows. But I feel like Letitia's hairstylist and her makeup artist, and at this point, her stylist, that's the person who does clothes, right?
yeah,
They all need to be fired. Like stat, like the hair, when you have a man, aka Watch Your Mouth Reviews, aka renowned author, commenting on the fact that he can see glue, lace, separation of hair, like textures and things. When
and don't forget she got that jam that come in that brown cap with white cap.
don't
The
do it.
brown she
So
had that
don't
on her.
do
Yeah, she had the jam on her face. Like I saw that too. It was
Letitia,
brown.
and then she did not fit her dress. And
She
that's
is.
it's really that simple. And we are not, I don't want anybody to come from my friend's channel or myself and think that we are bashing people based on weight. Listen, I don't give a fuck if you big as hell or small as shit. Wear clothes that are reasonable for the size that you are. And
Yo,
Letitia obviously could not fit
yeah, because
into
the
that
dress
dress.
itself is not ugly. It's just too tight on her. Like when you saw her walking and you looked at her like
It
cleavage
looks like
area, it
she's
was
cutting off
stuffed. Like
circulation
yeah,
to her
it did.
chest.
It
It
was
just
tight.
does. They should have took tape if she had a good stylist, taped her titties upward and inward first on the side, and then that would have helped a little
Well,
bit
see,
with the
here's the
breast
thing,
fit. Like,
because Letitia had a boob job season 1.
wait, no
So
way.
yeah, she had a boob job season 1. She
Get
called
the
them Grace and Mercy or some shit like that.
You better tell the
And
truth and shame the devil.
and
There's
the thing
no
of
way she had a boob job.
yeah, she
Did
had a
she
boob job.
really have a boob
She had a
job?
boob job. Go back and
But
watch
they're
season 1.
flat.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who did them, but yeah, she had a boob job. Go
Probably
back and watch
Marie's
season 1,
BBL
episode 1. It
doctor.
was right there. She said it right out of her own mouth. She said Grace and Mercy. Some one of them, like one of those names. But yeah. But who is your best dress and do you want to rate them or give your best and worst dress?
I'll just give my best and worst because I
Okay.
didn't feel like as a cast they looked bad. The only person who fucking failed my worst dress is Letitia,
Hmm. Who was your
and
best
that's
dress?
it. My best dressed is Latrice. It
Okay.
was just that outfit was everything. Her hair went with the outfit, the jewelry and the silver notes with the darkness. I loved it. I loved it, and they did too, which is why they hated on it. But yeah,
We're
everyone
gonna
else
get to that in a minute, but yeah.
looked
Yeah.
regular. Aikisha's hair, I don't know, but Aikisha never really, she doesn't really give. I think she's just a little basic. And then I did think So Gucci looked good, Sophia Shante, but she looked like she had some sort of work done. And Marie looked like my nana when she go to church. Shout out Allen Temple Baptist, Oakland, California.
Well,
That's all.
wow. Okay. So let's get into the reunion. So the reunion starts off, Carlos starts it off basically with the downfall of Letitia and Latrice. And they show all the flashbacks from Letitia's um, brunch to, all of the, I guess, speculation of whoever started to ice Aisha out and all of this. And because and you know what's crazy, y'all? Because I went into this thinking, oh, Letitia is full of shit. Letitia is I'm stuck somewhere in the middle. I
Mm,
feel like there's truth on both sides, and I feel like there's lies on both sides. Now, we'll start off with the fact that Letitia's entrepreneur powership brunches, the things that she, calls these things on. I will say this. I did think it was unprofessional of Latrice to drop an F bomb in the middle of giving her speech. I will say that. If we were going to fault her on that, I will give that. Now, I did go on, someone posted the actual brunch event of what she actually said. And when I heard her speech, it wasn't bad to me. I felt like she was actually really engaging. Everybody was laughing. It was actually really good. So I don't know what people were really offended by when it came to Latrice. I would have to read those comments to see. I think everyone kind of stood where I stood, where I felt like she could have avoided cussing and maybe alcohol beverage or two.
Here's the
But
thing, though. I agree with everything you're saying, but I think that I'm in the middle as well, but more so in that they were both wrong. If I'm going to have an event, I don't care if I've known you 20 years, 30 years, or 10 minutes. I'm going to let the people know who are expected to speak or participate in my event, whether you're a server or someone who did what Latrice did. Please do not curse. Please conduct yourself in this way. Keep what you say within this time frame, like stuff like that. That's what Letitia could have done. Also limiting your guest, especially your keynote speakers, alcohol intake is appropriate and okay to do. I also feel like Letitia could have done that. I also feel like as the event host, like you have to think about at certain events, like California with a lot of events that I end up at. And when you're at events similar to what Letitia put on, it's not often that you're served hard liquor. At an event like that, you would be served maybe food. Maybe the hardest thing you would get is a mimosa, but they're not serving like just full bar all the time. So I thought that was like odd, but Letitia's event is odd, but Latrice definitely drank too much and she definitely should not have cursed. And that's it. But
mhm.
people were not offended. They showed people weren't offended. And I don't get why Letitia is sticking to that because the only people who are commenting are seems like people that she knows or who's in their little circle. Until I hear an actual client complain, then you can't.
And so, and then also, I have one little comment to put on the tail, and then we're gonna move on to the next little section. But Akeisha chimes up and says, I wasn't there, but from what I heard, people did say that Latrice seemed like she was off. And here's my thing, Akeisha. If you were not there, shut your ass up and wait for your turn.
And how you hearing things from Mississippi when you in Jersey, unless you're
Well,
feeling
no,
it?
she was on the show. She just
Yeah,
wasn't
she's
at
on
that
the
event.
show, but I'm just like, how is the girl whose time is split able to hear things that's going on? I
I
don't
felt
get
like
that.
she just wanted to make sure she got every opportunity because Aikisha was getting on my nerves at a certain point.
Yeah.
This was the first time she got on my nerves on this whole speak. I think the second time may have been when Latrice said, "My income is more than all y'all incomes," and she
It
said,
is
"Uh." She said, "Don't say nah." So, Aikisha, don't say hoes because we ain't say nothing to you. I said, Aikisha, listen, if it did not apply to you, then why the fuck are you barking?
because her husband is her income, and that probably
Like,
bothers her.
when I tell you Aikisha worked on my nerves this second, I was like, and see, this is what I be talking about, y'all. This is what I be talking about. She, it was not her turn, and she wanted a moment every single time, and it was getting on my nerves. That's what I said. I don't like Aikisha. See, she done went back to my bad side already, and I was hyping her up the last few episodes. You see how
I
that took
feel
quickly
like the
turned?
way she behaved in just part one of this reunion led me to believe that, like, because Aikisha kind of gives a little bit of pick me energy. She wants to be liked and all of that. I feel like maybe the way that she went, it seems like they all went for Latrice. And I just, there's no way
Yeah,
that
and
that's
I'm gonna
going
get to
to
that comment
happen.
in a minute. I'm gonna get to that comment in just one second. I'm gonna also bring up the whole thing about them Ice and Keisha. Basically, they're playing tit for tat. Now, Letitia said that it was Latrice who brought that up. Now, this is where I fall somewhere on more of Latrice's side because what issue would Latrice have with Aikisha that would make her ice her out of a thing unless she was defending you? That's the only thing that I could come up with in my mind that would make me feel like, yes, she probably did that in spite of you because you're her friend. She doesn't know this girl. So
Mhm.
yes, let's do this and blame it on Tambra. And then from Latrice's side, she said that Letitia and Marie on three-way had a conversation about this. I have a hard time believing that because I don't believe because Marie is so headstrong with her disdain for Latrice that I don't believe that conversation happened. So I swear I fall somewhere in the middle of this because I could see it being both ways. I could see Letitia doing this, but also I could see Latrice egging this on because of her loyalty to Letitia. So I don't know what to really believe about that, y'all. They kind of left it at um a sentiment of like, okay, we don't know who's lying because they got elevated and they started arguing. And by that time, we got to the commercial break of that. So it really was left in the air. And I'm at the point where I don't even care anymore. And Akeisha, you shouldn't care either. Like at the end of the day, you weren't iced out. You still were on the show the next season. So who
She
really does
she's
care?
a pick me girl. She wants to be liked and she
Yeah.
wants to know who don't like her. But yeah, they argue about stuff sometimes on this show. It seems that like
Hmm.
we shouldn't still be seeing you talk about the same thing for like a whole season and then we take a pause and then you come back and you still talk about the same thing and now we're at a reunion and you guys are talking about the same thing. At some point somebody in the situation has to like move on or let it go.
Absolutely. And I 100% agree with that. I feel like this was so ridiculous on either or side, whoever really concocted this plan, it's immature and childish. So it
Mm.
was really stupid. So bringing up Letitia and Aisha, we're gonna talk about Ferris Street and how basically Aikisha, I understood what she was saying because I understand business. So I understood what she was saying, but Aikisha's proposal, as we learned in the season, was turned down because she wanted to buy the entire block under one settlement amount. And sometimes when it comes to buying commercial property that is historical, it is harder to do that because directly speaking, you have to buy individual property. It's not like where you can buy a lot and then build your buildings on and then have people rent it out. That's not the same thing for historical landmarks. You have to do it a little bit differently. You have to buy the building, and it's not just you buying a building, it's also other investors who could be also part of city council that can invest in it as well. So I understood what she was saying. However, this is the one time I think I'm going to agree with Marie. You and Letitia were trying to do the exact same thing, and it did not go over well. And Aikisha was making every single excuse in the book of why she couldn't buy Fair Street. She says, you know what? The building that Letitia wanted is still available. She can buy it. I just put in a proposal to buy my building, and we're hoping that it could be closed soon on it.
Mhm.
And this is my problem with Aikisha once again. You keep saying that people don't know what they're talking about, people don't know what you're doing, and all this and that. But at the same time, you're not also opening up about what you're doing. You didn't open up about the proposal. You didn't say, I wanted to open up. My husband has a sports bar. We're going to bring that franchise down here to Jackson. You did not say, well, I'm going to open up a cafe for people, for entrepreneurs. You didn't say what you were doing, where it would have made it seem like you had a plan. When Letitia first brought this to us, she had a plan. She says, I want you to open up your dentistry, talking to Dr. Antoinette. I want you to open up a Goddess Lane, talking to Latrice. She kind of had a directive plan where if everybody could invest, because Letitia said she did not have the funds at the time to really scope this project alone. So she was trying to get other women to invest in a portion of a building or another property on Fair Street.
Well, you know what they both have in common is they both have in common the fact that they speak about shit before that they seal the deal. And true business people understand that, yes, to some extent, like if an In-N-Out burger or something's coming, they're gonna let the public know, but usually the public finds out after the land or property has been secured.
Right.
So I actually disagree and feel like fans, because we watch them on TV, it's like we want to know stuff. But then when you look at it from a business point of view, you don't want them to be on TV just speaking about all this shit, especially before any paperwork is signed or proposals are even accepted. So I kind of looked at this situation as I get, they both should not have spoke about it. They both got to the same place. They both also had similar ideas, right? One of them
What was
didn't have
Akeisha's idea?
what? Well, Aikisha says she wants to buy the block. We don't know yet. We still
Oh,
don't
okay.
know.
I was gonna say I thought you knew something I didn't because I was gonna say
No, but I'm
I
saying they
know I
have the
was.
idea of buying up the properties and putting something
Well,
there,
see, but that's not.
essentially.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's not. That wasn't Letitia's plan. Letitia's plan was having other entrepreneurial women come together, other Black women come together.
Well,
Season
this is
one.
why Aikisha doesn't want to be compared to Letitia, and people miss that part of it because Aikisha never says shit directly, which annoys me about her.
Yeah.
Like, just say what we all know. James just fucking said Letitia wanted to do this. She wanted to be entrepreneurship for women. Historically, like there's women and men in Jackson. I'm sure men want a shot too on the street. So that's probably a problem. Separate from that, why would you come talking to us about this planet on TV with your Buick season one and your flat titties that you pay for when you know what I'm saying? You had no money. Now, if I have no money but have credit, then okay, you may be able to get something done, but you're still
You
gonna
know
have to
what?
do
And,
closing
and
costs.
that's one of the things.
I wouldn't want to be compared to Letitia. And I think that's what Aikisha is trying to say. In terms of business, her shit's probably a little cleaner and more together than Letitia, who struggled just to throw a brunch. So,
That I understand.
you
I
know,
will give you that. I will definitely give you that. And that's where I got to fault Letitia at because you knew and you could have said this from jump. But the fact is, and this is what we trying to tell y'all, this lady perpetrates so much about being this boss lady, about being this all this. And the thing about her is that she doesn't have the wherewithal. And she finally admitted it. We know you don't have the wherewithal. You don't even film at your house. We don't even know where you live. We don't know if the double wide is in on 2 acres
the
of
double
land
wide. I'm
or
so
if the airstream is sitting over there on the street. We don't know where you live at.
Letitia could save herself in terms of like within me for me liking her or caring to see her on TV if she continues to keep it real like she did. I didn't have the funds. I respect
Yes,
it.
and that's what we're
Keep
saying.
it
You could have
real.
said that from day one. You could have said that from day one. You did not have the money to do. I don't have the money to open this up, but I'm hoping that you know what, if I can bring these ladies together. She never said she didn't have the money. She said I have a vision.
Hmm.
When you have a vision, we're thinking you have all of the like the requirements to back it all up, and you didn't. And that's
Right.
what we're saying. We're saying have all of your backups, your A, B, have all your I's and T's crossed and dotted. She didn't do that. So that's why I have a problem with her.
Mm.
But moving on from there, because I don't want to talk about this anymore because it's gonna make me mad. But like I said, Letitia, watch.
Too
I guarantee you, y'all. I guarantee you, she gonna be building the house next year, next season. Watch what I tell y'all. Watch what I tell you, and I'm gonna be mad as hell because I'm a reader. I'm a reader because I'm like, see, you over here perpetrate. You supposed to be this boss. You got this empire. You got this book. You got all this stuff, but we still can't see where you live.
A book from the married woman about side chicks
Well,
wanting.
you know what? Look, I can't. It would be unethical for me
Listen,
to.
I need people to practice humility. It's in the Bible, and they in the South, so I know they like the Bible. Listen, being humble is not just for you, it can be for others too. Because why? And that's the last thing I'll say. Letitia, if you ever come across this, like, you don't have to be this unlikable. You don't have to be so insecure, like paying for plastic surgery when you have PCOS and you really need to be on hormones before you do any of that. That could help you lose weight is wild. I have PCOS, so I can say that. The choices of wigs and makeup wear wild. Choosing to stay with Glenn wild. Choosing like all the things that she does just doesn't make sense. Like no one's gonna want to see her building a house when we never saw her actual house. But hopefully Letitia starts to just give us realness because that can make her likable. Other than that, she's just Marie's favorite chihuahua.
I'm just saying. But speaking of houses, we then go over to the number one real estate agent in Jackson, Mississippi, in Latrice. It comes up that, from what Latrice was saying, she was working with another realtor. And in the time that she was working with this realtor, she was also working with Gucci. She needed it to be a little bit more pep in the step. So she consulted with the other realtor behind Gucci's back, and the realtor was able to get her the property. And Gucci was taking too long, so Latrice went with the option that she had available. So Carlos asked Gucci, why didn't you have her sign the non compete agreement? And Gucci's response was that I thought me and her were better than that. I thought that I could trust her enough that if she did find somebody, that she would just call me and let me know, and then I could have just dropped it. Or, if I was taking too long, she could have told me that too. And Carlos turns over to Latrice, and knowing what you know now, Latrice, do you think you owe Gucci apology? She said, no, I don't owe her anything. Now, here's my thing. And I was conflicted with this too, because I felt like I wanted to be in the middle of this because I understood both sides of it. I'm leaning more over to Latrice because, once again, this is business. This is what's going to put money in your pocket. If I know that I need to put money in my pocket and this is my friend, I know I need to secure every avenue of revenue I could get from this opportunity because, one, we're doing it on TV, and then two, this will give me promotion in other avenues as well because of the type of business that it is. So I do I think Latrice owes her an apology? No, I don't. I'm just being real, guys. This is just me giving my opinion. I don't, because this just screams to me that on some level, Sophia Shante Soguchi is unprofessional,
Well,
even if that is a friend.
Latrice did say multiple times, as well as other cast members who've heard about the situation from Soguchi's side on the show, they all have stated that at some point, Soguchi did stop communicating with Latrice on the real estate situation. When you stop communicating and you're the realtor, and there's no contractual agreement that exists for this person to be your realtor exclusively, or a non-compete clause, which is separate from the contract of working with the realtor, entirely separate. There was nothing. And then here's the other thing I will call out. You say, Sophia Shante, that you were trusting her because y'all were cool. How many of us over the age of 25 in real life, I don't care where you're from or what color you are, how many of us are going to trust somebody that we're working with on a show that's a coworker, as Kenya Moore likes to call them? Okay. How many of us are going to say that we can just fully trust somebody, especially when it comes to business, our money, and contracts, just off of words? That's not how it works. Okay. People who've known each other as long as me and James have known each other, if he was to be like, I want to buy a house, come live in the back of it, pay me rent, we gonna have paperwork. Like, no one's going to not do that if you're business oriented. So Sophia Shante, I did look up some things because I was like, oh, this is interesting. And it looks like the fans, because people on Twitter are coming for Soguchi's neck, some of it to James, they are pulling receipts on Gucci. She really hasn't sold maybe more than 2 handfuls of homes, and nothing's wrong with that. The homes she has sold have been, higher in price bracket in terms of how she would get commission. But her real estate license isn't even that old. It's not even a decade old. So she hasn't been doing this long. Latrice is correct in that. I think that Gucci dropped the ball, and even Marie. Usually Marie would love an excuse to come for Latrice. But even Marie has said time after time, well, you should have had her sign that contract. What I think happened is, I think that if around the time that Gucci stopped communicating with Latrice on the business dealings is around the time that she got real cool with Letitia and Marie, who don't care for Latrice. I think, and we see how Gucci moves. Like, you say you're cool with her 1 minute, and then you don't invite her to your little 70s party, and then you talk about her while you're there. And we know she is snake. So I think she stopped communicating with Latrice because she want to fit in with these other ladies who don't like Latrice. And yeah, it didn't work out in her favor. But hey, her
Hmm.
dentures look better.
Well, according to, I don't know. I looked at some of those receipts and I was like, But according to Sophia Shante, she sat there right on stage and said she just did 2 million just this last quarter. And here come Akeisha once again barking. I told Akeisha to shut her ass up, but she just wanted to keep barking. Oh yeah, I saw what she did, and and I don't know what you pulled, Latrice, but I saw what she did. She definitely closed. I seen
I
all the
want to know
properties.
why Ikesha is like suddenly upset with Latrice. I don't get it.
Yeah, and
Has
then and then
has
and I'm gonna just
situation
go ahead and go
coming
into
for
that.
her? the way she was coming for her,
Yeah,
like you
it was like
said, like, this has
sidebar. It was
nothing to
like
do with you, yet here
it's
you
like,
are.
"Akeisha, are you trying? Because you really didn't have nothing going on this season. You was in your house all the time with them kids. We ain't gonna forget that." So, I'm just saying, are you trying to get a moment? Because and then she gonna say, "I had nothing against Latrice. I don't have nothing against her, but what I will say is that every time, I've heard things about Latrice, and then when I saw how Latrice moved, Latrice looks empty. She looks like she's hurt. She looks like, and I'm not here to tear another woman down, but it just seems like if all these
And
people are
to tear
saying about
another
this,
woman down.
yeah, and it was like, and like Latrice said, we'll agree to disagree. And she goes, "Well, there's nothing to disagree about." I said, "Akeisha, there's absolutely everything to disagree about. Because you just said in one breath, you're not
The
here to tear this woman
narcissism.
down. And then you tear her down by saying she's hurt, seems like she's empty on the inside and all these things.
Go figure
That
out
is
your
yeah,
blood pressure and
right.
figure out how to feed your husband some better foods because his pressure gonna be up soon just looking at him.
But I'm
Like,
just saying that was you tearing her down because
yeah,
all of these women were at her and it did not help her by you validating
calling
what
her
they're saying.
empty, saying she
Yes,
seems
all
like
those
she's in
things.
pain. Like, that is an offensive thing to just say to anybody. I don't care how well you know them. You can't just
So
say, "Oh,
when
it's
she
just
said we'll
men."
agree to disagree, she's saying you could have your opinion about me,
Mhm.
even though some no, I mean Akeisha was. No, I'm gonna be real. Akeisha wasn't lying, you guys. It just wasn't the right time to say that. If there
She
was a
said
time
it
and
in
place,
a manner where it was more of an attack than it
yes,
was, like,
helpful.
something
Like, I
genuine.
don't
Yeah.
think that that was helpful. I think that that was kicking her while she was down. Her and Gucci are going at it. You were trying to defend Gucci and see, and this is where the double down happens. Then you double down and say the things you heard about Latrice and how she's empty and all these things. That is what she's talking about, agreeing to disagreeing. Because at the end of the day, you don't know that lady to be talking like that.
Yep.
You're viewing her the way you view her.
And nothing she says or does, and I think Latrice understands that. Nothing she says or does is gonna change these old hags' opinion of her. They just don't like her. They just don't fucking like her, and they're not going to. It would have been nice if Latrice gave Triple S a heads up, but on the other hand, Triple S didn't provide any paper copy quicker than that.
We're gonna shout out to Joseph Felton. This first time I'm seeing you here. Welcome to my channel. I appreciate your comment. Appreciate you tuning in. We do, appreciate everything, and we agree. She
Yeah.
should have been quoted. We actually said that when that episode aired, because I felt like when you do real estate, it is one of those markets to where yes, it's crazy. Yes, there's a lot of opportunity, but you have to look at the type of real estate that it is and the type of business that it is. What Latrice has, honestly, had she sold the property the right way, would have opened up millions of other doors for her to buy more or to have more commercial clients like that. Y'all have to understand how commercial property works when real estate is that depending on the type of business that you open, whether it's a restaurant, if it's a clothing boutique, word of mouth spreads when entrepreneurship happens, when you network and stuff. You could put on a portfolio, I sold this commercial property, so that commercial property. That opens up the floodgates for people to want to work with you, especially if they can see how they turned out. So that's why I said she dropped the ball on that and she put too much emphasis on that being her friend. If that makes sense to y'all. That like she put too much inference on that and
And
not
that's
making it
the
business.
beauty in that comment from Joseph. Like,
Yes.
your friends and family, the people closest to you, when you do anything, even if it's not making money of business, you want to make sure that communication has been clear and that if you are making any type of money or profiting, that a contract is set up. The paperwork, it's important. If you wouldn't fail on the paperwork for a regular client, then don't fail on this other regular client who you just
Right.
happen to know. It's very simple, but I just don't think Gucci like
I just felt like there's an intimidation factor there, and we saw it more so with Selena. But I think that there is a part of her that seems like she's intimidated by Latrice. I don't, and I might be reaching on this one, but it comes across that way for me because the fact that you are so hell bent on holding her to task when it comes to certain things you don't like is really weird. It's strange. Who cares if she's friends with Selena? Who cares if she didn't use you for real estate? Who cares?
I think Latrice needs to also open her mouth up a little bit more in moments that count. because I'm
I
a
think
true believer in like these women, like to some extent, I cannot call them bullies because they're all just messy, in my opinion. But I think that the reason Latrice is constantly ganged up on is because it's just the way she moves. Like, stand up for yourself, speak up more, like,
it's
just do a
because she
little.
doesn't have control of her emotional state of mind, and she knows when she goes back and forth with people, the next thing she's gonna do is start crying. She's one of those
Oh,
people that when she's angry, she gets to crying and stuff like that. And sometimes, depending on how you were raised, people see crying as a sign of weakness.
yeah.
And I want people to get out of that habit because it is
Mhm.
not a sign of weakness just because you
Girl,
cry.
we don't care if you cry, Latrice. Come for their necks and then go cry in your corner where
Right,
you're
exactly.
like, we don't care, but please come for their necks because I'm getting tired of it season after season after season.
It is draining.
It's like,
But
God, that's
moving
why.
on, y'all, we gonna move on to the next thing because we gotta hurry. I gotta hurry up and get to the other two lives I have. But in terms of next thing we're gonna talk about is this damn if they were getting honored at the state capitol or not. Because this is so like the worst thing in the world that could have happened. So to bring you guys up to speed, the ladies were being honored as the Belle Collective to the state capitol. They got invites except for Marie. She was not invited to the state capitol. And when it came down to it, what we learned based on this segment is that Letitia brought out that the lady who set up the actual section for them to get honored was actually Tambra's cousin. And that when Tambra was sending out the invites, she told, I guess so, Gucci that all ladies would be invited with the exception of one person, but she never said name. Now, what Tambra says she is guilty of is that she didn't directly reach out to Marie to whether invite her or not. But when Letitia brought up that that lady was her cousin, it made me side eye Tambra just a little bit. Just an easy teensy little bit. It made me side eye her just because you mean to tell me that if that's your cousin and you didn't, you know, initiate her not being invited, you mean to tell me that your cousin didn't know that you were at odds and that conveniently she would have been left out? Joseph Ellen got another comment. So he said, when Latrice bites back, to defend herself, they take it as her letting her pain and insecurities out on them. When really, she's arguing back because you're not going to punk her. And I agree with that. And the problem with, and I think the problem with a lot of these ladies, she's an easy target. She
Mhm.
really is, based on her life, based on Cliff, based on her maturity at times. And, I think that that makes her such an easy target, which Latrice, you could flip that on all of them because Marie sure as hell ain't that damn mature. And neither is Letitia. So we're not, so that's why I'm saying, and I feel that way about her as well, what Joseph Felton just said. I feel that exact same way. I feel like she projects a lot of her, insecurities and pain on them because we could tell that she's not happy with Cliff no matter how much she tries to portray that she is. We could
Mhm.
tell that there's some deep down daddy issue. I really think it's daddy issues when I look at her that really do project in how she sees her husband. And I
Mhm.
think that they play on that as well. So I want her to really seek out some therapy. I really do. My hope for Latrice is that she seeks out therapy where she learns to deal with the issues that she has. And if she still wants to be with Cliff at the end of it all, you have to change the dynamic of how you see him because that's not Zaddy. That is Clifford. That is your husband. That is not all of that. So stop doing that. Moving on, y'all, because we on Tampa. So so when Marie hears that Tambra's cousin works at the Capitol, this Marie, you said word of the trees? She worked there. I did not know that. And this is what I be talking about. I said Tambra did it. Y'all didn't even want to believe me. And it was like, Marie, regardless if she did it or not.
Who else has invited Marie places? Like, if we take the capital out of it and look into places that are well, like, respected and not lupus foundations, who inviting you places, Marie? And I'm not even trying to be funny. She's educated. She's got her business, but I'm just saying, like, if you, I mean, Tambra's cousin probably has something to do with it. she probably did. And I don't blame her because that's what the fuck your cousins are supposed to do for you.
Exactly. I was about to say that exact same thing. If my cousin
My
is
cousins were.
inviting the person I'm at odds with, we're gonna have a problem when we get to Granny house. So I mean to tell me, so you
Oh,
better
he said,
but treat
tag
me,
me in.
homegirl, or tag me in because I got a bullet shade for every bell starting with Marie. Oh,
Yes.
and I want to hear every bit of it too, because let me tell
She does
y'all,
need a friend, though. I
she
think
do.
that's
And that's why I
obvious.
miss
Yeah.
Dr. Antoinette. I
Mm,
do, because Dr. Antoinette would have got them girls together. She did it like in a like a shisty, like nasty but nice way. But
gentle way.
yeah, it was very gentle. Or hell, even bring no, I ain't gonna say that. I was gonna say hell, bring Kaylon ass back. I'm just playing, y'all. Don't bring Kaylon back, even though Kaylon was with the shits with Marie. She really was. But yeah, don't let's not bring Kaylon back. Let's leave her where she at. You know, her and her honoree of her great grandfather, Jefferson Davis,
Stop it,
leader of the
James.
Confederate Army. You know, just saying. But anywho, moving on from there. So Tamra is still sticking with the fact that she did not have anything to do with Marie not getting invited. And Carlos brings up, well, he goes, well, Marie, you always are honored here at the Bell Collective. And it was like,
I wish
Carlos,
he would have. This is why I don't like when Carlos hosts his own. Where's Egypt? What
oh,
happened?
I know what happened to Egypt.
She was
Carlos, did you not
hosting
pay her or
so
something?
many own reunions and then just poof,
Well, you know,
gone.
Egypt Sherrod has her own show on HGTV. I love when I tell y'all I
I
love
know
me some
she
Egypt.
does.
I
Yeah.
love her. I do. Like that is like one of my ideal reality TV
She
stars
was
I would
good at
love
her
to meet.
jobs, and she would get like I remember watching her host was it Love and Marriage Huntsville, and she got them together. Like
She really did.
so, and it's rare that you get good reunion people, but Carlos, based on his interviews and just like the state of what he's doing with his shows. Like I just don't care for him to be the reunion host at all. He should have asked some further questions of Marie and Tambra. She said Tambra should have been honest and said, "Yeah, my cousin left you off because you messed with me." And what? Yup.
I would have.
Yeah,
I would
but I
have.
feel like
Yeah.
she didn't do that probably. I feel like her cousin probably found a legitimate way because I don't think her cousin has so much power in the capital. Otherwise, I feel like Tamber would have talked about it more if she really had that kind of power. I feel like her cousin probably put into whoever's ear approves people for tours and things like look up this lady. And if they look up Marie, then
They're gonna find the laundry list.
I wouldn't
Exactly.
leave
And
her
that's
around the purse. So
exactly. And even Letitia at some point felt a way about it, and especially not being invited to Tambra's um gender reveal party. And it was like, why would she invite you and Marie?
y'all just
Y'all literally last season met with the ex she had the restraining order against. Then in this season, no, it was at this season, like y'all tried to blame her for the Aikisha thing. It was like, why would she continue to invite you guys places? And y'all are airing out all of her business. And this is Marie. You know, Tamara. You know, when we met with this guy, we didn't know all that information about you, Tamara. We didn't know that y'all had all the situation. We just said that we met
she's
up with
so
him.
manipulative. I hate when
Yeah.
people who are like trained in manipulation then use their education to manipulate
Mhm.
others. And I think that Marie is someone who does that. I just I don't
Yeah,
you
it was
did not
crazy.
if you met with her op like
Right.
like
She has no
it's
loyalty to
that
you
simple
anymore.
because
Yes,
and it's like the reason you did it, you're like, we didn't have no issue. You was looking for a problem. That's even worse. If we would have
exactly.
had an actual beef, then it's like, oh, okay, you trying to enemy of my enemies, my friend, fine. At least that could be reason. But you were literally looking for a problem. You had time. Like that's
Exactly, and I
no.
tell y'all all the time, I don't even like Tambra, but I had to defend her because right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't like Tambra, but I couldn't just let them just bully her and do all this underhanded shit and not say nothing. Like that's crazy to me that y'all did that. And you got the nerve to get mad at her when she excludes y'all out of shit or when she says, I don't want to fuck with y'all no more. Y'all really got the shit twisted. But anyways, let's move on to last. Gotta hurry up because we got 2 minutes before I start the next slide. It then comes out where they're about to break for lunch, and Letitia goes over to um, Latrice, and basically they go at it. And she goes, "You don't want." Latrice like, "You don't want this problem with me. You jealous of me and all that." And she continues to go with this jealous streak, which
I think that Letitia and Marie are jealous of Latrice.
I
I
feel
do.
like it's different reasons. I feel like it's different reasons. I feel like Letitia is jealous of the success factor, and
Mhm.
I feel like Marie is kind of jealous of the pretty image young girl factor
Oh, yeah, that's
because
why she got that
yeah,
BBL.
yeah, exactly. That's what I really think it is. But when
Yeah.
she said Marie ain't got no car, it took me back to when she was dropping her mama off and she was in that work van. And I said, Marie don't got no car. Marie, you ain't got no car, but you got all the money in the world, but you ain't got no car. Why did you drop your mom? I forgot to mention that in my video. Why you drop your mama off in that work van? Where your car at? Marie, where's your 1998 Ford Explorer? I just want to know. Where is it at? But this Marie the whole time. Oh, she just childish. She just childish. And then Latrice like, you childish. And she go, who are you talking to? And then those two go at it, and that's where they cut off the cameras and everything.
No, they got to say it correctly. Now, Letitia and Latrice had an issue. And then Marie found her way into that shit, had nothing to do with her, and then had the audacity after entering yourself into somebody else's conversation to question them for who they talking to. This is what I mean by I need Latrice to defend herself better. I was like, bitch, who you talking to? Come tell me to my face. But I'm a little crazy. I'm a little crazy. But I would, you just can't let people punk you like that. It makes me so mad. I be yelling at the TV like, no, stand up for yourself. Drop them finger waves. Like, and she just crying and just fragile as fucking glass. Like,
Yeah, it was like, girl, come on now. We need, yeah, like Joseph Felton said, she need another little girlfriend on the
she
show.
needs
She needs
something.
something. Hell, at this point, I know I was joking about it at first, but hell, bring Kaylon ass back.
He
Bring
said
her
that
back.
when Tambra tried to meet up with Cedric, Marie's ex, to dig up some information, Marie would have thrown a
She
bunch.
really would have. Like Marie would have, man, it would have been over for Tambra at that point.
They know that they're wrong. They're just trying to act like they don't know. But I agree. They need to get rid of somebody who's been an original Belle, in my opinion, and then add another new
Yeah,
person as
I
season because this is
honestly,
getting old
yeah,
and
y'all can get rid of
gangrenous.
Aikisha because she was just,
She's useless.
she's useless. I don't mind Tambra staying. I don't, because I feel like now that she has this baby, maybe we'll see more. And if she
Yeah,
don't show more, then she can go. Latrice can stay. Letitia can stay. I don't really mind Letitia.
yeah, yeah. Marie has to go
Gucci,
though.
Gucci. No, I don't want Gucci back next season.
I
And
don't. Even,
honestly, as much as I hate to disagree with my best friend, y'all, Marie can actually stay if Marie is going to tell the business we want to hear.
I
Where's your son and them three kids?
don't even
Because you
say
brought him on, the show first season, and the shit embarrassed you because we don't know why you did that. But now that you invested us in that, and then one of the babies lost his brother, now we want to know what happened after that.
it.
She just skated right past that and act like we didn't go through that with her.
Her son
So,
probably don't want to be exploited no more for her to have a
well,
storyline.
look, well, at the
And when
end of
her
the
mama
day,
gets sober,
look,
because
your
we
mama
rooting
did it.
for it.
Look, your mama did it. So she can't undo it. We still know you had three kids in one summer. We ain't finna play with you like that. So yes, I'm not finna do that. Marie, I need to see what you showed us season one. I need to see how that's doing. I don't want to see your mama no more. Please do not bring your mama back on the show because that was terrible. And when they get to that part, y'all, on this reunion, I'm probably gonna skate past it because I don't want to talk about it. I just don't.
We can't really say much on it, I don't think. And plus, that's the thing she doesn't realize. You keep showing your mom hoping for views, but there's only so much you can say when someone is sick, and drug addiction is being sick. So
Yeah, like I don't want to see that no more.
they can't get rid of Latrice because apparently she's every
Oh
man.
yeah,
That part,
absolutely that
that
part, and that's it,
part.
and that's gonna be evident next season. I
Yeah,
already know, so I'm ready for it, and I will be recapping Bell Collective. Well, we're not done with the reunion. We got the next part reunion, but y'all, I got to get off this live because we got to go over to the boring ass Real Housewives of Potomac.
it'll be
That is my
quick.
name.
It'll be quick, boring but quick.
It will be. There's a couple points I do want to make on there, but y'all make sure y'all head over to Real Housewives of Potomac. If you're watching a playback, hey everybody, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, come over to the Watch Your Mouth reviews because we didn't watch our mouth this review, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Shout out to Joseph Felton, one of our newest members of my channel. We appreciate you. Thank you for your comments. We hope to see you on more lives. Come on through. We appreciate you. See you next review, guys. Bye.